Hey everyone, it's Uncle Gaines back here with another video. In today's video, I'll be taking you through my entire leg day warm-up, my squat single for today, which is 385, and I'll be taking you through my entire leg day as a whole as a power builder. So first I'm starting off with some leg swings back and forth just to warm up the hamstrings, warm up the glutes. I usually do around 10 to 12 per side. Alright, and next I'm moving on to some leg swings side to side. This is a really good dynamic stretch for your hips and in general just a great warm up. I usually do about 10 to 12 per side as well. Alright, next I'm moving on to some hip openers. It's a really good dynamic stretch for your hips and you should feel some pops near your groin area, and if you do, that's normal and that's what should happen because it's better to hear a pop here when you're warming up rather than when you're under the bar with some weight on your back. And I do about 10 to 12 per side as well. And next, moving on to some behind the neck press. I usually do about 8 of these with just the bar. This is really good for cueing that tight back position that you have on your back squat and just warming up your shoulders in general. And next, I'm doing some good mornings with just the bar on my back. I'm just focusing on stretching my hamstrings dynamically here. I'm not trying to hold the bottom position for too long because if you do a static hold and stretch your hamstrings too much, that could get you injured. So yeah, just focusing on controlling the eccentric and then exploding on the way back up. All right, and the last thing that I do before getting into actual squatting is a set of 10 on barbell rows with just the bar. It's really important to warm up those mid and upper back muscles because they're really just key for staying tight on squat. Okay, so now the first thing that I do is I warm up with the bar on squats. I do about 8 reps of these. And it's really important when you're warming up to treat every single set as if it was a PR. So I'm moving the bar as fast as I can on the way up and just squatting it how I normally would as if it was, you know, like close to my max, which is near 400 pounds. All right, now we're putting on a plate. This is about a third of my max. Again, even though this weight is super light for me, I'm still treating it as if it was, you know, close to my max. So I'm moving it really quick, squatting it as I normally would, and focusing on a tight back and strong core because those are the cues I need to focus on when pushing heavy weights. All right, let's get that second plate on. So now that I'm moving up a little bit higher in weights, this is still relatively light, but obviously not like the bar 135. I'm not doing as many reps. Like with 225, I do about 3. All right, now we're getting on 275. So again, now that I'm moving up in weight, I'm going to do less and less reps. So with 275, I do about 2. And again, focusing on moving the weight as fast as I can, even as it starts to get heavier. I'm trying to make every single rep look identical. All right, now we're getting on 3 plates or 315. Moving this as fast as I can so I can be really confident in hitting a PR. And this move like butter. Alright, here's the last warm-up set of 355. This is where it really starts getting heavy for me because this is, in fact, my last warm-up set. This is about 30 pounds away from the PR I'm supposed to hit today. Move great, so it's time to get 385 on. Alright, so that moved amazing, but now gotta move on to the rest of the workout. This is my 350 back off single, also moved pretty good. Then I did a 2x6 with 285. I believe this is about 70% of the top single today with 385. That's kind of how I decide what to do for my back offs. I usually have, like if I'm doing a top set of 2, I usually do a back off set of 2. At like 80% or 85%. Same thing with like a top single. I do a back off single of about 80 to 85% depending on how I'm feeling that day and how my recovery's been going. And the next exercise is deficit deadlifts. I warmed up with a couple reps of 225 and then I moved into a 3x5 with 315, 3 plates on deficit deadlifts. This volume on deadlifts kind of sucks. Kind of gassed me out, made me out of breath, but it is what it is. You got to do some volume here and there, and this moved pretty well. All right, next I moved on to some tempo safety bar squats. The way that this bar is made, the plates kind of shift forward at the bottom, so it forces you to stay upright. And since I do squat high bar, I have to stay upright, otherwise I'm gonna lean over and that'll result in a failed squat most of the time if I don't have the strength to stand back up. And I'm really focusing on squat positioning on this one, just staying straight and generating a lot of force out of the bottom. And I do these beltless, so I can focus on my bracing and just core strength in general. Okay, next I'm moving on to some general leg hypertrophy muscle building exercises. This is the optimal stuff that I don't really feel like doing after squatting or deadlifting. I just want to go home after these, but it is essential to grow the actual muscles involved with squatting and deadlifting. So this exercise, seated hamstring curl, just focusing on going to failure. I did 2 sets of these. The first set I didn't record, I got 10 reps. And then the second set I got 8 reps and I did 2 partials at the end. And it's really important that you push your sets even as a power lifter or power builder, because it's important to build the size needed to actually get stronger. And lastly, I did some single leg extensions. I'm really focusing on squeezing at the top and controlling the weight on the bottom. I used the ego lift on this exercise, try to use as much weight as possible and achieve my reps, not go the full range of motion. But that caused a lot of fatigue for my other big lifts. So now I learned my lesson, dropped the weight, and I'm really just focusing on form and pushing my sets pretty hard. I'm not going to let both sides play out on this single leg extension, since you guys are probably smart enough to know that you should train both sides on a single leg movement. But I hope you enjoyed my full power builder leg day video and learned something from how to warm up more properly and just what kind of jumps you should make when warming up to a new PR and how to get stronger. So if you did learn something, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.